I'm Nigel. I still have no idea what I'm doing. This time for the stereo to go in.
And honest, honey, it was 50% off, so I actually saved us money. It's enough to drive a man to... no. So anyway, one head unit and 2 door speakers. The car already had a head unit installed, but the face was nowhere to be found. So, out it comes. Getting to the head unit requires the removal of the centre console, which I'm actually getting quite good at. The centre dash trim is fairly easy to remove, with only 3 screws. The thing is, 2 of these are behind the air vents, sometimes called eyeballs, and there's really only one good way to remove them. And it's absolutely terrifying. Once these hidden screws are out, the tombstone, as it's called, comes out after a single electrical connector is pulled. Then, it's just a matter of removing the cage that the stereo is mounted in, disconnecting the stereo plug and bringing it all over to the bench for a head unit transplant. Old one out, new one in. Of course, this is really only about putting off the inevitable, the wiring. The first thing to do here is a bit of archaeology, working out what all the wires do so they can be put back into the right place on the new head unit. There's 4 different wires for the power alone, and it takes a bit of work to decide which one is which.
Okay, 12 volts, good.
But with all of the wires identified and labelled, the next step is to solder in the connector for the new stereo. Once this is done, then it's time to carefully plug in the stereo and give it a bit of a test. That's a bit of a surprise. It works. I made sure the phone could connect and set up the stereo, making sure to read the fine print carefully. After confirming it all worked, I sealed up the heat shrink, which is always very satisfying. The next job was to replace the speakers. Luckily, you don't need to completely pull the doors apart to get to the speakers on this car, so replacing them was a fairly quick and easy job. Even taking into account it needed doing twice, once for each door. So, now I could remount the stereo cage and bolt it securely back into the dash. With the stereo in, it meant I was free to play with the stereo's party trick. The one thing the MX5 doesn't have is a lot of room for things like phone mounting, which is why I bought this stereo in particular. It also has lots of setting screens that I will almost certainly never see after today. Time to put it all back together, with a bit of research as needed. Then, reinstallation of the centre console. And it's getting pretty close to being done. There was of course the issue of the gaping hole under the stereo, but I had a plan for that. One 3D printed custom storage tray. like a glove.
Alright, that's the stereo done. So another thing ticked off the list.